Welcome to the Be a Paid Speaker Now podcast. I'm Deborah Deras, your host and top Latina peak performance speaker. Each week, you will learn from top experts in the speaking industry, insider secrets of what works and what doesn't, so that you can monetize your expertise. My intention is to be your speaking coach, to provide you with resources and experts that have done it before you so that you can get your message out into the world faster and easier. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Be a Paid Speaker Now podcast. My name is Deborah Deras, peak performance Latina speaker, author of the book Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict, and your hostess with the mostest. And I am excited today because I have a phenomenal guest. I have someone that you know and that you love. Guess who it is? Yours truly. I would give you my whole introduction. Deborah Deras is a sought-after, charismatic, energetic, peak performance speaker, speaking to companies such as JP Morgan, General Electric, Verizon, Procter & Gamble, and most recently, NBC. That's right, I was at NBC. It was so fantastic. J-Lo was there at the same time. Deborah Deras is the author of a book, Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict, How to Be Successful Without Compromising Your Health and Well-Being. She's also been a contributing expert to Latina, Catalina, and Immigrant Magazine. She's the host of this podcast and a YouTube channel called Deb TV, dynamic, empowered, and bold programming to give you motivation, inspiration, and transformation. I almost had my whole bio by heart. Pretty good, right? Welcome to me. And the reason why I am here, because a lot of you have written in questions to me, and you say that I am your coach, your mentor, your guide. And as your coach and your mentor and your guide for your speaking career and your paid speaking career, because being a professional speaker, like I always say, is only 10% speaking. The other 90% is the marketing, is the branding, is the positioning. And I'm here today on this episode to teach you the 4 mistakes that many small businesses and new speakers make. And I say small businesses because as a speaker, you are a business owner. It is not just you as a sage on the stage. That's just that little bit of it. The back end, which you don't see, which isn't the glamorous part when you're in limos with champagne and chocolate and gifts, this is the dirty part. This is the part that you have to be focused and organized so that you're going to be able to book more speaking engagements. So here are some of the mistakes that people make. Number 1 is not staying in contact with your audience. Do you know that 95% of the speaking engagements that I book and that almost all of the speakers on my podcast, on all of the previous episodes book are from previous audience members? Did you hear what I said? Previous audience members. And if you're not already being paid to speak, then think about speaking pro bono for free just to get the practice, because these audience members are going to be the people that are going to be able to refer you. Why? Because people refer people that they like, that they trust, and that they respect. And if you give 111% of your energy and attention, whether you're speaking to a room of 2 people, and trust me, that happened to me. I was at Armstrong Atlantic University in Savannah, Georgia, and there was a hurricane and a tornado, and there was only 2 people by the time I got there. But I gave it 111% because these people in the audience are your sales people. These people are your brand ambassadors because they can say from experience why an organization, association, or company should hire you. So what you want to make sure that you do when you're speaking is that you have some system right? Businesses have systems to operate and create consistent revenue, right? So you need to have a system to get people onto your email list, onto your text list, so that you can stay at the top of their mind. So that when they're thinking of who should I refer to speak, they think of you. Do you know that I am going to be speaking in Indianapolis, where NASCAR is, coming up in April? The person that referred me to be the keynote speaker at this conference, she emailed me out of the blue, had heard me speak 7 years ago when she was 19 years old. This is why I don't change my number. My office number for my business has been the same since 2002 because that's my calling card. This young teenager who heard me speak in Chicago at this leadership conference for youth saved my card for 6 years. And then when she got her first opportunity, her first job, and they needed a keynote speaker, she remembered me. So that's the other thing. You want to be giving it your 111%, be memorable, and then you want to have some container to get people to stay connected with you and at the top of mind. So for example, one of the speakers that I love, her name is Rhonda Britton. Do you know Rhonda Britton? She wrote a book called Fearless Living. She had a show on TV with Iyanla Vanzant. Before Iyanla fixed my life, there was this, I think it was called Starting Over. It was a show with life coaches, and it was Rhonda and Iyanla. And Rhonda, her and I spoke at the women's conference here in California, the California Governor's Conference. And when she spoke, she said, okay, everyone, I have this new book coming out. And if you want to get the first chapter of the book, text to this number, keyword fearless. And she's like, take out your phones, do it right now. And then she waited. Why do you think she did that? Let me tell you something, a mistake that speakers make is they think that people are going to remember the instructions that you give them when you speak or remember what you write on a piece of paper. No. Usually at a conference, there's lots of speakers. There's lots of stuff going on. They may remember you, but they may not remember the instructions to get your freebie, whether it's a chapter in a book or an ebook or a download. You want to literally, during your presentation, pause so that they can get on your email list. And if it's not a text program, then hopefully there's Wi-Fi where you are. Have them go to your website that moment and get on your email list. I tell people, if you want to get, one time I was speaking, if you want to get my entire book, I gave it away for free. But it wasn't free because every person that's on the email list is a lead for me. This is sales 101, that you need to fill your pipeline with qualified leads. And everyone in your audience that wants what you have is a qualified lead. If they don't like you, they're not going to do it. And if they don't like you, you don't want them on your email list. They're not your people. You only want people that love you. They want your book. They want you to speak. They want to bring you not only to one association, but to another organization. And they can refer you for years to come. But you need to be at the top of their mind by getting them on your email list. And internet marketing, which I love and teach, is the money is in the list. So having people on your email list is step one. But step two is actually giving them something of value on a weekly basis. If you can't do it weekly, do it bi-monthly. If you can't do it bi-monthly, do it once a month. But you want to be giving them the same expertise that you're giving them in your presentation in the email. So if you're a financial speaker, give them tips on finances. If you are a motivational speaker, give them tips that will help them be motivated. It doesn't have to be a long newsletter. I've noticed now the newsletters that I read, they're usually a banner, 2 sentences, a video that's like a minute, and then a call to action. That's your whole newsletter right there. But when you do that, you're going to find that in your email are speaking opportunities. They're going to be coming to you because you are staying at the top of mind. Email is a great way to do that, and social media as well. Cool? So the next thing, it's so important, because this is the second mistake that a lot of new speakers make, is they have a website, maybe for your business. You have a website with your business name, but you don't have a website for your speaking. One of the things I noticed in the past 8 years, a switch from promoting the business as the brand to having you as your brand. If you look at Les Brown, Lisa Nichols, Rhonda Britton, Marianne Williamson, a lot of the top peak performance speakers, they have the website that focuses on their speaking their name. Yes, they may have a business and they may have a business name and a business website, but their main website for their speaking is their name. So, number one homework assignment for you, if you haven't already done it, is to buy your domain name. And you may be saying to me, oh, my domain name is taken. Then buy your domain name Speaks. Deborah Deras Speaks, or Deborah Deras Now, right? I have deborahderas.com. I also, this is another tip. This is a great tip for you. I'm going to give you my secrets. Should I do it? Okay, I'll do it. Is I bought the domain name Latina Speaker. Why? Because some of my hugest, biggest contracts and gigs that I got were from people. When I say people, I mean like corporations like Verizon and JP Morgan, searching for the keyword, talking SEO talk, Latina speaker. So think about, what is your keyword? Maybe it's female financial speaker, right? It doesn't have to be your culture, but whatever is the keyword that people are searching to find you, buy that domain name. So my domain, Latina Speaker, was like $1,500. I'm financing it. Did you know you can finance a domain name? Deborah Deras was $12.99, even though it's worth, to me, millions of dollars, that name. But we'll say $12 million, right? $12.99. So you want to buy the domain names and have information, blogs, videos that are leading back to hire you for speaking. So your website as well, and I know this because I'm redoing my speaker's website, and I'm coaching myself as I'm doing it. I'm like, I'm surprised I'm booking any gigs right now, to be honest with you. So I'm not here to judge you or judge me. It's just an observation, because my website has so much going on. It has the podcast. It has my mastermind. It has the Be a Paid Speaker Now Academy, which you're invited to if you want to learn all that I'm teaching you. But it needs to focus on my target audience. Your speaker's website, which is your name.com, needs to focus on solving the pain or problem that the audience that you are seeking has. Do you hear what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm throwing down? So what I mean is, if you're like, I speak on peak performance. So my target audience is HR associations, women's groups, entrepreneur groups, that kind of thing. So I need to make sure that the website is solving that problem. I can't have all of these other things. I coach a lot of small business owners, and I see that their website has, just everything in a bag of chips. Their real estate business, their insurance business. Oh, and by the way, I'm a speaker too, and I do stockbroking. I do Forex on the side or whatever. I'm selling Bitcoin, and you could buy my cannabis oil. It's too much. It's demasiado. Too much, too much, too much. You want to focus. The first thing that I talk about in my program, the Be a Paid Speaker Now, is clarity is cash. You need to position yourself as the expert. What are you the expert at? What do you speak on? And then your website should prove to them that you're that expert. And it should prove to them not just from what you say, because your about page and your bio is going to say who you are, but you also want to back it up with social proof. You want to have testimonials so that they can hear what other businesses say. One of my first speaking engagements I ever had was Alpha, the Association of Latinos in Finance and Accounting. And I asked, it was a free gig, but I asked everyone to do a evaluation. And one of the questions in the evaluation was, what did you love about Deborah's talk? And can we use it as a testimonial for promotional purposes? And then everyone checked yes. And in the audience with all these great companies, Ernst & Young, Deloitte and Touche, like all of these financial, Morgan Stanley. So I had from the very beginning, huge organizations saying how I was a great speaker, which gave me credibility and authority. They said, if these organizations that are, big companies think Deborah is great, then she must be great for our organization. Ooh la la, that was a good tip, right? Okay, so make sure you buy your name, you get your website focused, get it organized. Less is more. If you want to have other side businesses, have a separate website for every business. I know that sounds like a lot of work, but it's so important because confused customers don't buy. That's just the bottom line. Confused customers will not buy. They will not think that you are that expert. So if you're the expert in high school audience, college audience, corporate audience, focus on that. Really laser into your niche. That's how you're going to grow rich. When you have your niche and it's laser focused, because clarity is what? Cash, my friend. Okay. Another mistake that many speakers make, including myself. Okay. I'm coaching myself right now. I know you think I'm coaching you, but I need to hear what I'm saying. So this amazing woman found me on Facebook and wanted to represent me as manager. Don't you want to have somebody that's just going to book speaking engagements for you and all you do is just show up? Wouldn't that be nice, right? And there's also, agencies and bureaus that you can work with as speakers. But this person was going to be my manager. So she needed some information from me. And the first thing that she asked me was, do you have a client list? What does your CRM look like? And I was like, CRM? Like a CRM, like a client relationship management system like Salesforce or whatever. There's so many of them. And I was like, I don't know. She's like, well, how can I follow up with all of the places you've spoken if you don't have them in a list, if you don't have them combined? And I'll tell you, my friends, I've been speaking for 16 years. I've spoken for over 100 colleges, maybe 300 associations, and then, probably 100 Fortune 500 companies. If I don't have every name, every title, every address, email, website, contact person, title, you are leaving money on the table. And we can't do that as business owners. We can't leave money on the table. We need to have extra money just in case times get rough, right? Just in case there is a slowdown in our business. We need to set ourselves up so that when times are slow, that we have the revenue flowing. So the only way to do that is to be organized. So I highly recommend, even if it's something as basic as Excel, for you to have some sort of system where every single time you book a gig and you have a contract, is that you have your first name, your last name, your address, etc. Oh, speaking of contracts, I have one more little tip that a lot of new speakers make. Say you have a friend or a colleague that you know that wants to book you for a speaking engagement, and you say, oh, this is my colleague. I don't need to do a contract. Fatal flaw, my friends. I have made that huge mistake, and I never want you to make it, because the person that's your friend or your colleague will be the one that potentially can take a long time to pay you. And if you have nothing in writing but a verbal contract, you may as well consider that you donated your time, because they have no reason, or you have no recourse to get them to pay you unless you have an agreement. So I actually hired an attorney. I paid like $350, $500 to have a standard contract, and I edited that and I use it each and every time. But you want to do it whether it's a little gig for hundreds of dollars or a huge gig for hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. I don't know what your speaking gigs are going to be like. So you want to make sure you get it in writing. Everything needs to be in the contract. Okay, I have one more tip, and then the show is over, my friends. So, a fatal mistake that people make is they're posting a blog on LinkedIn. They're posting a motivational quote on Facebook. They're posting maybe a little slideshow on Instagram. But the bottom line is, you are a speaker. People that want to hire you want to see you speak. You need to speak, my friends. So even a 1-minute video of you speaking. I booked a huge contract this year from a 1-minute video I did that I put on Facebook, I put on LinkedIn, that was to the tune of about $15,000, and another $10,000 gig coming as well from this 1-minute video. It took 1 minute of my life to do that video. But we as speakers that want to be booked, want to be working, and want to be paid need to get on camera. I know sometimes you don't like it. I had to force myself today to do a Facebook Live. So if we want to do a Facebook Live, a YouTube Live, or a 1-minute video to put on Instagram, to throw up on LinkedIn, we can make it a blog on our website. Our power is our voice. Our power is our message. Our power is our unique brand and how we are different than the rest. And the only way people are going to be able to see that, hear it, and feel it is for us to get on camera. So that is the last tip that I have for you. I think I gave you some bonus tips. Is if you want to get paid even more, then get yourself on camera, speak, showcase your expertise. Maybe think about the top 10 things that you speak about when you're doing a keynote program, and do little bite-sized appetizers so that people want even more. They want to book you, they want to hire you, etc. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me just review. First mistake people make is not staying connected with your audience. Remember, your audience is the best people to refer you. So how are you going to stay connected with them? Get them on your email list. And don't just write down on a piece of paper, join my email list. Literally, take a moment to pause during your speaking, saying, I want you all to get it, so we're going to take a moment. Get out your phones, register now. I swear, if you don't do this, they're not going to get on your list. They will get ADD, forget about it. Number 2, big mistake that people make is they have too much stuff going on their website. Don't throw your speaking on your regular real estate website. Have a separate website that is your name.com or your keywords.com so that you can focus on your target audience. Clarity is what? Cash, my friends. And you know that they will know the answer, and while you're the speaker for their conference. The other mistake people make is not getting a contract. Always have a contract. No contract, you don't have an opportunity. You need to get a contract and ensure that it's signed and followed through each and every time. I don't care if it's a friend, colleague, always. Other mistake people make is not having some sort of a system, a CRM to manage your clients. You're going to be speaking at so many places, and you need to be able to stay organized so that you can go back to them and offer your new program. You see Lady Gaga reinventing herself every year. You need to reinvent yourself as a speaker at least every other year. When you have your new book or your new signature program, they can have you back again and again. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank myself for those great tips. Thanks, Deborah. Thanks for sharing your secrets. I am here not just as your podcast host, I am your coach. I am here to give you all of my secrets because I truly believe that you are a messenger for a very important message. And if you want to be a part of my Synergy Speaker Mastermind, I have a new one that's coming up in the spring. So you can find out more information on my website. What is my website? Well, DeborahDeras.com, my friends. And I am here to serve you. So remember, you are that messenger for the message. And with the power of synergy, anything is possible.